Alright everyone, and welcome back to another F1 23 game experiment. Today we're going to see if we can if Alpine can win the race with 10% more horsepower, 225 mile an hour there. At the end of the straight is a bit too deep into turns 1 and 2 in my time trial practice of this, but yeah, I'm interested to see how this will go. We're going to start, and I've made sure with this by the way, that both Alpines, including Ocon, start at the back. So we're going to drive as Pierre Gasly. It's time for the Italian Grand Prix. So yes, of course, the reason why I picked Monza is because Alpine were terrible here. It's no secret that the Renault engine is the slowest on the grid, which is why they're trying to unfreeze the engine regulations to give them a bit more upgrade. So yeah, we're down here in P20. Esteban's over the way in P19. We're going to see where we come. Let me know beforehand in the comments below as well. Race strategy, it's a 35% race, so I'm kind of thinking we'll go alternate and we'll do medium soft as well. We're going to up the fuel limit just in case to the maximum, although spoiler alert, we don't actually need it. But there has been things in the past. So anyway, 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix, and I've forgotten to press A. Oh well, we're just going to carry on well, it's a slow. We can take a leisurely stroll, ladies and gentlemen, down to turn 1 and instantly get in front of our teammate Esteban Ocon, who has decided that to go 2 mile an hour through turns 1 and 2, and he's taken the cursed curve. You know, he could be our British opposition. Next up is Daniel Ricciardo, the man who's returning, of course, this weekend for the United States Grand Prix, and he's easy pickings off Ascari down to Palabot, because fair, he seems to be getting a bit of a slipstream off Logan Sargent, the man who's looking set to be possibly replaced at the end of the season, up to P17. Is Ocon going to follow me through around the outside? Yes, he is. And that's Sargent and Ricciardo back to last place. Next up is Zhou in the Alfa Romeo down the inside there. Can we get... I thought about having a go at Magnussen, decided against it in the end. There's a huge bit of a train forming here, which gives us a chance to get past them. Next up is Magnussen. The Ferrari engine doesn't have any answer to the mighty 10% more horsepower Renault powered engine. That is Lewis Hamilton, and he is in the pits at the end of lap 1 for a new front wing as well. Meanwhile, Ocon's got past Magnussen now. We're going to try and get past Piastri. Can we get our Hulkenberg? Yes, we can. 6th the racing line as well. As I say, it's also 10% more horsepower means there's obviously the 10% more difficulty in getting this stopped into a corner as well. So just remember that as well. The braking assist doesn't always work, as we're now going to get Danny inside of Lance Stroll and moving down to P12. Next up is, well, a whole gaggle of cars. First Bottas, then I think that's Tsunoda. We've got about 4 or 5 of them up to P7. What, I mean, just look at that. Albon's going to come back at us. We're going to have to use a bit of ERS. Don't want to use too much. Remember, it's default ERS still as well. But yeah, this was just insane, overtaking 4 cars in the straight of a straight. Yes, we didn't quite get Albon there, but we did manage to get, well, Albon. You know, Albon actually came back at us on the exit as we took the cursed curve. You know, that's just how much speed we have with 10%, as little as 10% more horsepower in the Renault car. Next up is Carlos Sainz. We're going to have a look around the outside of him. No, we're going to... I didn't want to try and be careful. You know, we could so easily lose. A front wing is on simulation damage as always. As well. Trying to have a look up here as well, but again, unable to get past the Ferrari. So we're going to have to wait. We've got patience, but I think Verstappen is doing Verstappen things and running away. Now they're going like 3 wide. He's already at the start-finish lane. We're not even parabolic yet. As well, Leclerc's been forced out by Sainz. We're going to make light work of all of them and just accelerate our parabolic light as no tomorrow. Use a bit of DRS, and we are up to P P4, not quite the 230 mile an hour that we had earlier, but I mean the speed is enough. I'm gonna thought about getting Russell and Perez into Parabolica. Decides to come back on our outside. We're just going to out traction him, use a bit of ERS, and then, well, the acceleration is just nowhere for them, and that's put us up to P2. But yeah, it is the lead of the race. Tyre wear is still tyre wear on this game, so yeah, 45% of the rear. Perhaps we need to move it more to the front, to be fair. Not driven too much of the Alpine, other than in the old race here and there. As well, 2.3 second stop, that's not too bad. As well, Albon will take the lead, where and from Verstappen, and the gap is growing and growing and growing. We are going to set fastest lap on lap 13. 7.3 is the gap. But yeah. Now, meanwhile, a long way behind is our teammate Esteban Ocon. He's making moves up the field. Has now got up to Perez and Leclerc. A couple of them on hard tyres, and he's passed them. Although saying that, Perez is actually going to come back at Ocon, so not so much the OP straight line speed for Esteban there, as Perez gets past him as Ocon forced on the cursed curb, and that is Alex Albon. And sadly for him, his Italian Grand Prix has come to an end. He's out of the race with an engine failure as well. But for us, yeah, Verstappen is in another league, as we all know, in 2023, except at Singapore. You know, if we didn't have Singapore, he probably won the entire season as well. You know, we managed to get that gap down to 4.8. Probably if had less tyre wear and more ERS, we could have done it, I reckon. But sadly, the tyres just creeped over 50% again on the rears, and then we just started running out of ERS. So it is P2, which I'll take. Last a second. You know, Ocon finished P4, so it shows that with 10% more horsepower, Alpine, we would have been miles away. You know, if we hadn't qualified 19th and 20th, we would have won this race. Easy 1-2. Starting from the back was purely a challenge. So yes, Alpine can win the race with 10% more horsepower, but not when they start from the 19th and 20th. Yeah, that is my summary of today's F1 23 game experience, and that's where I'm going to leave it for this one. If you haven't enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F1 23 game experience as when they come out. Let me know if you've got any that you particularly want to see in the comments below. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.